Good evening, fellow Plexers. Today's video is for Kelly out of the Plex Pals Facebook support group, and it is about DVRing in Plex under Windows. And you all know I'm a Linux guy. My first NAS was on a Synology NAS, and now I run it on a little Intel NUC with Unraid as only a Docker host system that points back to my newer Synology NAS. And I always feel like a fish on a water in Windows. I gave it up in 2006. But Kelly's having trouble with some recordings failing to start. And I don't have all the information I need, but I think her first Plex server is a laptop that she's using. So I assume it's running Windows, and this is what I'm going to suggest that she does as a test. So if I go into my server settings, let me change to my test Synology NAS, my older one. And then I'll go to not live TV and DVR, transcoder. So you'll see there's nothing set in this field. And if I go to the newer Synology server, that's also a test Plex server, there's nothing set in this field. And we'll go to this test Windows install, which is on a 9th gen ProDesk by HP laptop that I have pulled some memory out to simulate an older, lower powered device. There's only 8 gigabytes of RAM installed in this. We are going to create a directory for Plex to transcode to, which is part of the DVR process, and then schedule a whole bunch of back-to-back recordings that I'll then return to later to see if we're successful. It's not a double-blind test. I'm not going to try to record with these default settings because I think this is what's going to help Kelly out. So on this test system, I have Windows installed on a NVMe drive, and I also have an older SATA SSD plugged in. They're both 1 terabyte devices. And you'll see there's a lot of room here. Well, hopefully your boot drive has a lot of room, because if it's a standalone Plex machine, it shouldn't have a lot on it. And actually, the way I would set up even under Windows, I might have a small NVMe drive for the OS, and then have a larger SATA or 2 or some portables to store the media on. So I'm going to enter the boot drive because there's plenty of room free. And I'm going to create a folder just simply called Plex TMP. And again, it's on the C drive. So I can get out of here, and now I will paste in that directory and simply go down and save the changes. And you'll see that this system has the UHD Graphics 630 chipset in it because it's a 9th gen i5. Really doesn't matter if it's an 8th gen or a 10th gen. They're all going to have this same iGPU in it. You'll get a better iGPU jumping to the 11th gen processors. But this is certainly good enough for Plex. It's more than my Synology NAS has, which is a UHD Graphics 600, my newer NAS. The older one has a HD Graphics 500 iGPU in it. So that's the setup, and let's set some recordings. Let's go to Home, Live TV. So I've got test DVR set up on the 2 Synology-based test servers, and I'll switch to this Windows box. And I don't know why. I put this DVR in here a few times. I've got some unknown time slots here, and it just won't go away, even though they don't exist on the other 2 test servers. I'm not a Windows guy. It just seems like there's always something going wrong with Windows whenever I play with it. All right, so the time is 7:19, so let's look at the 7:30 time slot, and let's pick 2 channels where I can do some back-to-back recordings. Well, actually, Frasier looks good. I'm going to click record. Now you can choose which TV show library. If you have multiple ones, it'll go in. And I am not starting a recording early or ending it early either. All right, so we've got 4 episodes back to back set for recording. So now let's do something else. Let's do Last Man Standing at 7:30. And again, the 8 o'clock show. And then let's throw in one That 70s show. So that's our setup. And if I go to someplace I can see what my recordings are set to in Plex. Okay. I use Channels DVR as my personal DVR for my OTA channels. It can handle ASCII 3.0 channels. It's just a superior DVR, and I'm kind of lost with this. Maybe I have to go back in my settings to see my scheduled recordings. Okay. No, it's not here. Maybe I just had to refresh the previous page. Oh, there it is, DVR schedule. So that's our setup. This is a 4-tuner device, and I'm doing 2 different channels with back-to-back time slots to record all this. So I will be back to see the results. And actually, I think I'll pause it for now and come back at 7:30 and see if we have any activity showing up inside this temporary folder. I'd like to see evidence that that's being used, so I'll set a timer for about 10 minutes and come back and see what we have. Okay, I'm back, and I discovered something. So anyway, we've got a show recording. It's a little bit over halfway, and I discovered that I had made a mistake. I had typed something that didn't match up with, let's get in the right area, transcoder. I had typed Plex TMB by mistake of P, and then I just pasted in what I wanted, Plex temp. And if I go to my drive again, let's see, where are we? Plex just created this, even though I had created the wrong folder that I deleted before I started the video. But just to prove it, we've got a transcode directory that was created in it, and this is what's going on while things are recording. So my mistake in the first part of this recording, I typed this wrong, and you don't even, on Windows, you don't even need to create the directory first. You can just set it in the settings of Plex, and when it's used, it gets created. So, Kelli, you can just type your C drive and add a directory name, and it's just going to create it when it starts recording. So right now I'm not using RAM for this. I'm using hard drive space. I'm using fast hard drive space, the NVMe drive. And again, this is a 9th gen laptop. I'm sorry, 9th gen MIDI computer, not a laptop. And I will end this video and come back once they're all recorded to see if they were all successful. But so far, it looks like it's doing what it needs to do with a limited system of 8 gigabytes of RAM. Talk to you in a bit. And I'm back with a third segment of the video for Kelli and the DVR under Windows with Plex. So, I have one episode left to finish recording. It'll be done at 10 o'clock. The other recordings look like they've successfully been made. Let me change to that server and go into the TV show library. Now this test server had all public domain media in it until it started to record tonight. So that 70s show, we have one episode. And if I click into the episode, we have 29 minutes worth of it. And if I click into The Last Man Standing, we have 3 total episodes, 29 minutes, and then 2 in this season, 29 minutes, 29 minutes, and then we're still recording one episode of Frasier. And now I can't watch that while it's recording from here, but I probably could from live TV. So maybe that'll be the last thing we'll do. So I'm sure these are all the right time. 30 minutes for these. That one's 29. That one's 29. Let me see if I have the Plex HTPC client app installed. I don't. So we have that recording. Let's go back to live TV. And let's go... I forgot what channel I'm recording it on. Okay, it's right here. So let's just click into it. Okay, so I guess I could play the recording here, or I could play the channel as a live channel.
Appreciate you comparing me to it.
So I'm going to pause that, and then go to the dashboard.
Dead squirrel in a heating duct. I think you're wrong.
Oh, I think I know what I did. I think I'm on the wrong DVR, the wrong live TV. Let's do that again. Yeah, I was on my old Synology NAS and not this DVR and live TV. Okay, so still looks like I could play the recording here or live play the channel. So I could start at the beginning of the recording or watch live.
Treat it, crush it.
So now I'll pause that and go back up to dashboard. And now we'll see that direct stream paused. If I unpause it.
Maverick.
Conquer it with Maverick.
Cure it with Maverick. Maverick cures all types of head.
Well, actually, it's not direct streaming, it's transcoding. And I don't know why, and that's not something I will tackle tonight with Plex. And again, I don't use Plex for DVRing purposes. Let's back up one more time. So it switched to the other tuners, or the other server and tuners. Alright, so it says that live session has ended. Let's see if we can play the recording. able to play the recording, but what I want to look at now is, does that use an extra tuner? That was a question Kelly had asked. So it looks like it does. I've got 2 tuners occupied. So let's stop that, and it freed up the second tuner. So yes, you are using 2 tuners if you watch something that's partially recorded from the recording. It doesn't make sense, but we just saw that happen. So Kelly, I'll put all 3 of these videos together and get them up on YouTube so you can see what you can see and make whatever sense you can out of all this. Everybody else, thanks for watching.